Well, welcome to our second season of TGIM TV. Thank you for all your feedback. Everybody seemed to love the last season, and we're looking forward to doing it all again. Well, today, my guest is Mark Sleigh, who is the General Manager of Destination Wollongong, and he's going to tell us about what he loves about this great place called the Illawarra. Stay with us. Well, Mark, thanks for joining us today. We're in this beautiful location, Blackbutt Reserve, here on the south of the Illawarra. It's got so many great places. You know, up north we have the Seacliff Bridge, we've got Wollongong Harbour, and of course this great area here down towards the south. You're a Wollongong boy, grown up here. Tell us what you love about the Illawarra.
And one of the first things that came to mind when we came home was that it's not too many places in the world you find that have got a world-class foreshore, a world-class escarpment and a world-class lake all within about 10 minutes drive. And Wollongong and the South Coast are certainly blessed with all of those. I think we've done an amazing job being able to certainly sell the foreshores, and I think there's still an amazing opportunity to be able to do probably even more on the escarpment. And to me, I grew up in Mount Kira, I'm a Mount Kira boy, and I think the escarpment is just an incredible resource for us all. And I think one of the things that's come out of COVID is the amount of people who have really taken the time in their downtime to be able to get out and enjoy the natural environment. And I think the escarpment's been amazing for that.
It's true. I think both you and I agree, probably what makes Illawarra great is the people. What's your experience been with the people of the Illawarra?
Oh, so many great stories about the people. You know, I lived in Sydney for 15 years, and you spend most of your time ducking in and out of supermarket aisles to get away from your neighbours. And you know, when we moved back down here, we had neighbours that we hadn't seen for 15 years chasing us up the aisles, wanting to know where we'd been. And I think, you know, the people down here just are such a difference from Sydney. And you know, we saw that when we brought our first cruise ship into town, going back 4 or 5 years ago, and we asked the community to come out and be part of that experience. And 250 wonderful people came forward as ambassadors to come out and sell Wollongong to all these international guests who are coming. And every time we brought another cruise ship in, we had those 250 people. It wasn't always the same ones, but it was people so incredibly proud of everything that we have here in the Illawarra, and wanted to just come out and share that with it. And it spoke to me so much about what it was. And one of the things that we never really publicised was that Wollongong was named the friendliest port for Royal Caribbean on that first year, and it was all driven by the incredible ambassadors that we had on board and the way that they sold Wollongong to the people.
And we've got more to show, and it's our purpose over this whole series to really showcase this beautiful place. And we do it naturally because we grew up here, we love it, but we want to introduce it to so many different people right across Australia and even across the world, show them what a beautiful place we live in.
While we're talking about storytelling, you know, we've got such an incredible Indigenous storytelling message and so many great stories down here to tell, and I think that's a wonderful opportunity for the region. You know, when international tourism comes back on board, the most requested product that we're asked for in the tourism space is tell us your Indigenous stories. And you know, an area like Rotorua does it incredibly well and is able to tell their stories through their native people, and we have a tremendous opportunity to be able to do something similar here. We have some amazing advocates. Mark Olive, the celebrity chef, who's recently reopened in Dapto, is fantastic.
And we're going to interview him, I think, in this series. We're going to be spending some time with him, so looking forward to that.
Look, his stories, and not to mention his cooking. Like, make sure you get some food out.
Oh yeah. Let's make sure
chicken pie.
Let's book in. We'll book in for lunchtime when we go see him. Yeah.
His food is absolutely amazing, but his stories, he's been around the world selling Australia and the Indigenous stories to every country in the world. And just listening to him come back here into Wollongong and be able to do that locally, he's so proud of it. And I think it's just such a great way of taking Wollongong to the world.
Great, I love that. That's a great story. Well, TGIM TV is about seeing life differently, and particularly in this season, life has been very unusual at this time. For you, Mark, and what you see across the city, what do you think are some of the most important things we need to be thinking about as we do life differently at the moment?
I think the word we keep using is unprecedented, and it's probably never been a time when it was more worthy to be used. I think from certainly the small business perspective, I think it's so important that we're out and about supporting them however we can. And that's not just about spending money in their businesses, it's about supporting them through social media, it's about telling our friends about great experiences so that we're sharing that love a little bit and people are getting out and about. And I think the small business operators have done it so incredibly tough over the last 6 months, and they've still got a way to go before we're lifted out of these restrictions. I think one of the really important themes that's come off the back of that is mental health. And I think there's no doubt this started as a health pandemic, but I think we're really starting to move into a real crisis with mental health. And obviously with mental health being such an important part of where we're going over the next 6 months, there's been some fantastic initiatives launched in Wollongong. Young Lockie at his boy Elroy and the Barstool Blokes has been fantastic, and he's doing a Father's Day lunch next week, which he's really excited about, free for people to come out and be able to experience things when maybe they wouldn't normally. The Man Walk down in Kiama, started by a young guy from Kiama who I grew up with, and incredibly proud of what he's managed to achieve, getting guys out to in small groups or just to get out and just share their worries in a really unstructured kind of way. And from starting that just because he had a mate who needed a friend down in Kiama, he's now got 57 Man Walks around Australia and New Zealand, and a business plan to be in every LGA within the next 12 months. And I think the unstructured side of that is what's incredibly important. It's who shows up. It can be one bloke, it can be 7 blokes, it can be 20 blokes. It's just share a couple of stories, talk about the rugby, but then if someone's got something they really need to talk about, everyone's there.
All while they're walking.
All while they walk.
All right, well, TGIM is always about, doing what you do every day with a deeper purpose. We always encourage people to find in their job something that's just not the job, which becomes the motivation for doing your work well. So for you, Mark, what gets you up in the morning and gets you going for the work that you do for the Illawarra?
I was incredibly lucky. When I left school, I did my uni down here by correspondence, but then the Olympics came up and I moved away to Sydney and did my 15 years in Sydney and did a lot of travel and worked for a lot of big companies. And the opportunity to come back to Wollongong and be able to use the skills that you'd learnt in high pressure environments in Sydney, be able to come back, enjoy the amazing lifestyle of Wollongong, but be able to share some of that experience with the Wollongong community and be part of a regeneration in some respects of some of the tourism and hospitality aspects. What more could you ask for? It's an opportunity to use skills that you've spent 20 years acquiring, but being able to benefit the local community and your local area. And I'm extremely proud that we've been able to come back and make a bit of a difference in that space. And hopefully that we've got some really exciting things coming up over the next couple of years, and looking forward to events like the UCI Road World Cycling Championships and 300,000 people coming to visit Wollongong over 10 days, and being able to take those kind of events and share something truly world class with Wollongong, something I'm extremely excited about.
Well, we're really excited to get this season of TGIM TV up and running. Our thanks to Mark and Destination Wollongong. And Mark, as always here on TGIM TV, we like to give a little gift for people who see their work life differently, which is you and your team. So put those on. Wow, you look younger.
Thank you.
I want to see photos of you wearing them around the office wherever you can.
Will do. Thanks for the opportunity. We look forward to working with you to tell some of these fantastic stories over the coming weeks and sharing all the wonderful things that Wollongong has to offer.
Thanks, mate. All the best.